Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today's video we are doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 19th of August 2020. This is the series where we go over the Shrine of Secrets in Dead by Daylight and we go over all the perks. There's 2 killer perks and 2 survivor perks. We go over what they do, who they come with, if they combo well with other perks, if it's a killer perk then what killers do they work well on, and at the end I will give my thoughts on which ones you should put your shards towards. However, I should mention that sometimes in my conclusions I don't really know what perks to suggest. This is because because you can just level up the characters with blood points, and I know the Shrine is there for mainly DLC, I would say. To be honest, I just use the Shrine now just to get blood points back. I just buy old perks and just get blood points back from it, to be honest. But this is to hopefully help you at least see what perks. So if anything, if it's not to buy a perk from the Shrine, it's to see what the perk does and how it works, and then that will determine if you want to level up that character, I guess. Does that make sense? It's just that I haven't mentioned it before, but sometimes I'm just well, both these perks are good and you can just level them up with blood points, to be honest. But yeah, so without further ado, we're going to get started. First of all, we have Hex Retribution. Now I find it interesting that the Stranger Things chapter, which came out almost a year ago, most of those perks have not come on the Shrine. However, a perk that came in a chapter a few months ago is out already. I'm pretty surprised by that. However, I don't really mind. So this is for this perk's first appearance. This comes with the Deathslinger, and this is a Hex perk, so keep in mind that it's going to be, breakable in the first 10 seconds of the match, and then it won't do anything for you. So always just keep that in mind with hexes. Basically, any survivor who cleanses a dual totem will suffer from the Oblivious status effect for 35 seconds. Now, Tier 2, this is 40 seconds, and Tier 3, this is 45 seconds. So, obviously, dual totems, I use inner strength in literally all of my builds. So when I have someone against this, I usually get pretty nervous. So this is Oblivious, so you don't hear the terror radius. So keep that in mind. And if any Hex totem is cleansed, including this one, Hex Retribution, the auras of all survivors are revealed for 10 seconds. So this is a good Hex defense perk. There's a lot of them like this, like for Live the Hunt, and also one in this new PEB. But basically, survivors cleansing dual totems will suffer from Oblivious, so they don't hit the terror radius, so you can sneak up on them. Kind of prevents dual, well, it doesn't prevent things like inner strength, but it kind of deters them from wanting to do that, because again, 45 seconds, it's quite a long time. And also, when any Hex totem is destroyed, the auras of everyone is revealed for 10 seconds. Obviously, if they're in a locker, then it doesn't, but other than that, any distance, no matter what they're doing, for 10 seconds across all versions of the perk. So this is really good. I would rather use this over something like for Live the Hunt, because this one's a bit more effective, because you can't tell when someone's cleansed a dual totem. You have to just kind of guess that they're Oblivious, but this can really sway the game like that. I can't say too much because I don't have Deathslinger, so I don't have this perk, and to be honest, I don't really play against people using this perk. But I know from the gameplay I have watched, and again from the few times I have played against it, this is very people use this quite well, I think. You'll cleanse a dual totem, and literally I'll turn around and then the guy's right there and I'm like, Jesus. But also added a bonus, 10 seconds aura reveals for any Hex totem, including Hex Retribution. That's really good as well, because that's just anyone at any range, again except for locker and things like that, and obviously distortion if they have that. This is good for making plays, because you can see who the closest people are. You can also see the people at your Hex totem that they just wrecked, and you can make plans from there. But again, I can't say too much, unfortunately, because I don't have this perk. I've never used this perk, I haven't watched too much gameplay of this perk, and I have not played against it enough to talk about it like a professional. So we're going to move on from that, sorry. Next we have Iron Will, which is a Jake Park perk. And this is a pretty meta perk. You'll see a lot of people using this. I use this from time to time as well. This, I would say, is Jake's best perk. And again, just a very good survivor perk in general. I'm trying not to say perk all the time. But basically, when you're injured, grunts of pain caused by these injuries are reduced by 50%. Now at tier 2, this is 75%, and at tier 3, this is 100%. It completely silences it. This is one of the few perks that I would say you have to use at tier 3, because 75%, I think 50%, I can't remember, I think, is when you're crouched, it hides it, or no, I think it's when it's like when you're in a locker, it silences it, but when you're still moving around, you still hear it. And then when it's 75%, I think when you're in a locker, you don't hear that, and also when you're crouched, you don't hear it. But other than that, so, does that make sense? I explained that really badly. But this is just a perk. To use it at its full potential, there's not too much to say about it. I've completely ended chases before they started. Just hiding behind a tree. This works well for like urban evasion, fixated, or just hiding in general. You can completely lose the killer. If you're in a chase and you make distance, you can just slow vault over something, and then literally you can just end the chase because they'll waste time trying to look for you, and then they'll just leave you. Again, perks as well, like quick and quiet. This is very good just to feel a bit more relaxed while injured, because that's why I use perks like resilience, because I just spend a lot of time injured, not wasting time healing. So this is good until you can get healed. It's good to just hide and kind of almost guarantee that, like, you know, you're not going to get caught off guard or anything. There isn't too much to say about it. Again, it's very good at what it does. Use this at tier 3, I would say. Level 3, 100%. It completely silences the pain. You'll still do normal breathing from totems, and also you will make grunts of pain when you're downed, but obviously the perk says it's only from injured. So next we have Sprint Burst, another meta perk. This is pretty crazy, and this is in my main build. This is very meta, and again, this is in my current build right now. This is a Meg Thomas perk. This is an exhaustion perk, so again, keep in mind just that. So basically, once you start to sprint, you break into a sprint of 150% of normal running speed, and this goes up to 3 seconds. You can't use this while you're exhausted, and you don't recover from exhausted while running, but this does have a cooldown exhausted status effect thing for 60 seconds. At tier 2, this is 50 seconds, and at tier 3, that's 40 seconds. I would say this is probably my favourite exhaustion perk. This is probably the most accurate and reliable one, because literally all you have to do to trigger it is just start sprinting. I use this a lot with fixated, because fixated is good while you're recovering that exhaustion and while you're recovering the perk in general. This is just very reliable, because live doesn't always trigger because you have to use a window or a pallet for that. Pardon me, sorry about that. Whew, okay, sorry. And Dead Hard, depending on the servers, it favours killer, so that doesn't always work. So Sprint Burst is very good. It's very easy. I think it's only level 40, but I might be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, literally all you have to do is just start sprinting, and you can do this from a gen, or like from a chest or healing or something. Literally the second they get close, especially if they don't know you'll have it, they will swing, and if you time it right, they will just miss. So it's like Dead Hard in that sense. Obviously keep in mind there's the exhaustion perk, so obviously you will have to have a bit of time just walking, just getting on gen while you're recovering that. But also another thing is that Demogorgon's perk Mindbreaker is pretty counterable against this, I guess, because that perk has it so when you're on a gen, it pauses any exhaustion timers, and then after you leave that gen, it persists for extra 3 seconds. Which means you can't just sprint burst from the gen like I do all the time, or if you want to do that, if that's the thing you do, you have to keep in mind that it does pause it, and again after you leave the gen there's a little bit of time and you can't, so just make sure of that. But other than that, this is probably the best exhaustion perk in the game, I would say. That's just my opinion, but yeah, keep in mind it's very reliable. Dead Hard doesn't always work, and you have to be very smart about using that. And then live, you have to use a window or something. This you can literally just start, literally the second you press the sprint button, it's 3 seconds of that speed boost. Very good, very good. Finally we have Territorial Imperative. This is not a good perk. This is really not a good perk. This is a Huntress perk. I can't remember what level it is. I think it's 30. No, it's not. It's 35. I reckon it's 35. This has it so it reveals the auras of survivors going to the basement for 3 seconds, and you are no more than 32 meters away from the basement entrance, standing from the basement entrance. Okay. This perk is garbage. I literally never see people use this. I don't blame them. The only time is literally on Adept Huntress, people try and do that trophy. Other than that, no one uses this. Yeah, and this has a cooldown, not cooldown, it can only be triggered, sorry, once every 30 seconds. At tier 2 that's 25 seconds, and at tier 3 that's 20 seconds. People are going to go to the basement to get the chest, and then they're going to leave again. So I don't know why you'd want to use a perk that reveals people probably once per match. Not even that, to be honest. And again, obviously sometimes there's times where you don't hook people in the basement. Obviously you'll see people going in for the rescue, but you can kind of tell that anyway. I do not have anything else to say. This perk is very bad. This is probably one of the worst perks in the game, I would say. But yeah, I just don't know why you'd want a perk just to see people in the friggin' basement for, what's that, 3 seconds? Yeah, it's only 3 seconds anyway. So, not good. I don't have anything else to say. Okay, so we're going to go over perks to get. So, for killer, I'm going to go with Hex Retribution, just because it's good for defending, ruin, devour hope, anything like that. Has the added bonus of afflicting people, cleansing dual totems. If you're also running Noed, you'll, it kind of deter them from doing that a bit. Also, when any hex totem is destroyed, that will reveal everyone's auras for 10 seconds, except for if they're a locker, but it makes you're able to plan who you're going to go to next and who's like doing what, and just have general information, It's a hex, so keep that in mind. But again, this does have a bonus if a hex is destroyed, so that's good. And again, I would buy this 100 times rather than I would get Territorial Imperative. Do not get Territorial. It's not good. And then for Survivor, I'm actually going to say Sprint Burst. These are both perks from the default survivors, so if you literally just bought the game, you'll have both of these survivors. So I'd honestly just say buy these with blood points and everything. But I would say Sprint Burst is more reliable. Keep in mind these are both very meta perks, so this is a pretty hard choice. Sprint Burst, again, is an exhaustion perk. You can quickly get away from the killer, make distance very easily. It is exhaustion, obviously, so keep that in mind. But 150% running speed for 3 seconds. It's good, it's great, and yeah. Again, I really don't have anything else to say. Iron Will is amazing what it does. I would say make sure use this at its highest. Oh my god, sorry about that. Apologies. Use this at its highest availability, because 100% completely silences grunts of pain. That can really change how chases go and how maybe even how the whole match goes. But I just use Sprint Burst more often than Iron Will, but they're both really good perks. So anyway guys, that's going to do it for my Shrine review this week. I will try and make a commentary video, like I said, on the new PEB and everything, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this helps. Again, this isn't me telling you what to do, this is just to kind of influence your decision, I guess, just see what works with what, but obviously in the end it's up to what you want to do. And again, you don't even have to. I just save up my shards a lot of the time and just buy the old perks to get loads of blood points, to be honest. But yeah. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.